mode. So
For it.
this is kind of an obvious but important starting point, which is to say that when it comes to marketing communications, if you don't think about all the channels that your audience uses, or perhaps in our case that your clients, our clients' audiences use, then you're missing a big part. Especially today, with the span of generations, what's unique about, and there's always what's unique about our moment in time, but one of the pieces that's unique about our moment in time is that we have leadership at companies in their 50s and 60s who did not grow up all things digital, do not grow up with LinkedIn and Twitter and Facebook and so on. And you go, relatively speaking, all the way down the age spectrum to the college graduates, and they are absolutely the epitome of digital natives. So if you don't avail yourself of this full orchestration, but if you don't avail yourself of all the tools and consider that different audiences collect, read, assess, consider different information about the same topic through different channels, then you're missing the beat. You're missing the opportunity. It's not to say that every campaign is going to draw on every one of these bigger circles: earned, owned, paid, and shared. Certainly not to say that they're going to draw on everything around the outside, but it's got to be multi-lever, integrated, multi-channel, whatever cliche you want to use. But you got to hit people a lot of different ways, is the essence of this slide. And so with a couple of colleagues, we did some research on small to mid-sized businesses and what their view of marketing is. So I'll jump in a bunch here. I'll jump into the slides and obviously riff a little bit, and Michael obviously will give me a warning in a little bit. But the first here is the notion of channel importance, and you can see, if you look on the right side of the screen, you'll see what's it, sort of, I don't know, mustard off orange color that is. No surprise, the website and organic come up as really as number one and number two. The first place people go is your website. And so if you don't have a best in class, then you're lost. Obviously, the email and the content and the PR are either follow-ons or they're drivers in order to get people to the site. But the website piece is absolutely critical. The digital piece is absolutely critical. And how you drive people there is really the essence of this slide. You see that all the way on the that was the right hand side. On the left hand side, you see how small website and email are. So obviously companies the companies are very few and far between who are not looking at those channels. So that's, again, importance. The key here is the channel importance. And then you look at the channel effectiveness, and this is a little bit curious, and you'll see on the next slide where it ties together. So we know what the important channels are. Now, how effective do you consider your firm in each? And look at, and I'll flip back and then forth one more time, but look at the right side of the screen and that sort of off orange color. So here's how important they are, and here's how effective a company is at those. And it sort of makes you wonder, if they're that important, why aren't you better at it? Or why don't you spend more time on it? And I'll just sort of flip together, right? So look at that at the bottom piece: highly important and highly effective. There's a huge disconnect in that space, obviously, and the reason is a little bit of that age gap, or a little bit of the age disparity of the volume of people. But an even bigger portion of it is the satisfaction that good enough is good enough. And the fact is, it's not. I would suspect that if David, if any of your clients said, yeah, those numbers are good enough, we'll keep paying you, you'd be ecstatic. There's no such thing. The bar is that much higher. Competition in all sectors is fierce, if you're not doing a great job through that orchestrated effort of breaking through and of being effective in how you're using the channels, and frankly, how you're using the money, then it's a waste. It's absolutely lost. So this was one of those slides that my colleagues and I looked at, and we were quite curious about it. We dug in a little bit, and okay, we can rationalize it or we can understand it, but it still just doesn't make sense at all. We then looked at, if you're going to do it, you should measure it. And so how satisfied are you with your ability to measure your marketing success? Not surprisingly, I think it's a little bit, weighted in the middle to 3 and 4, only because nobody wants to admit that, that they measure, but they're not very good at it, because it goes to accountability. It goes to the efficiency and efficacy of what they're doing. I was surprised, frankly, that the not satisfied was as high as it is, only because it tells you that people are actually being honest in how they're answering the slides, how they're answering the questions. Not surprisingly, very satisfied, came out what sort of looks like almost, fourth or tied for fourth. Not surprising at all, right? Because people don't think about that last piece of it, the measurement of it. How well are we doing? A lot of the companies that we talked to in this survey were professional services, technology, legal, consulting, manufacturing, engineering. And so you look at the content imperative, and that for professional services or intellectual capital companies, that's really the differentiator. And it's not always, or can't be, excuse me, look at how great we are, look at how smart we are. The content imperative is, look at what we can share with you. The content imperative is, this is what you will be able to do if you partner with us. It cannot be about, look at us, look at how great we are, look at how smart we are, look at our industry expertise, because it's not about, and I mean this with all love to everybody on the call, it's not about you. For our clients, it's not about them. It's about what they enable their clients to do. What are their clients able to decide? What actions are they able to take? How much better are they able to sell and communicate their difference? That's what the content needs to be about, right? It's not the self-aggrandizing that we see so much of on LinkedIn and other platforms. It's got to be the value that you provide to somebody else. And then right, we did the same combination of how important is the content and how effective are you? No surprise that it's very important, but you know what? Good enough is good enough. It's about volume. It's about a numbers game. We got the email out, we got the newsletter out, we got the article out. Yeah, but was it great? Did it hit all the targets? Did it deliver on our key messaging? Did we put it out in the right format? Did it achieve the goals that we wanted to? In a lot of cases, the answer to all those questions are, we don't know. And it's just, to my mind, that's just unacceptable, right? Marketing has to grow the business as well, the brand as well as the business. And if it doesn't have the efficacy as well as the efficiency, then why bother doing it? So the content imperative and how good are companies at doing it. And again, you see there in the middle, the 3, I think, is a vestige of people just sort of, yeah, we do okay. It's not great, but we just don't have the wherewithal to make it as great as it can be, or even as better than it is. We're not going to outpace the competition. We got something out. Check the box, which again, to my mind, is just not the way to do things. And then content flavors, right? This is more just an element of all the different tools. Think about that first slide that I sent through, or that I shared, of earned, owned, paid, and shared. Videos, blogs, I'm not going to read all these. And by the way, the list is a whole lot longer than this. What I love about this slide is 2 things. The first is the highlight of videos. The increasing use of video, and by the way, all these companies are in the business-to-business field. The increasing use of videos, because that's critical. That goes to a fundamental communications element, which is show, don't tell. I can tell you how great I am, but that's not going to get the message across. If I show you, if I give you an example, and by way of examples, the client testimonials, was very happy to see that as high as it is as well.
5 minutes left, Dan.
You know what? I'm going to be done in 2, Michael. So
Whatever.
I appreciate it. I just, you know, I don't put on a voice for this, and I don't make it any longer than it needs to be. The customer testimonials are critical. It goes to the point of, on LinkedIn, participate in somebody else's conversation. If all you're doing is talking to the people who already know you, then you're only talking to the people who already know you. You've got to get into other conversations. It's not just about building your brand deeper with the people who you're already doing business with. It's about expanding your net, expanding your universe, and capturing a wider audience. And by contributing to other people's conversations, you're doing 2 things. First, you're expanding your world, but second, you're validating their thought. And you're proving that you don't have all the answers. You don't know it all. There are other people out there who are good service providers, who have good thought. And being part of somebody else's conversation is critical. And so that customer testimonial of the customers speaking up for the service provider, I was encouraged to see that. I'd love to see more of it. Obviously, you get into privacy issues. So not every industry can do that. I mean, think about one of my clients is a cyber insurance provider, and we are one of the few that keeps claims in-house. And somebody said to us, hey, should we, we have our first claim, should we do some kind of case study on? And I couldn't answer fast enough. Absolutely not. And for not the least of reasons is client privacy. We're not going to admit that a client had a claim. We're not going to put that out in public. So the testimonials is great. Blogs obviously are important, but again, it's got to be the industry orientation, the external facing, not look at how smart we are. And in that vein, you see what is now a decreasing use of white papers and an increasing use of more, what's the expression, more digestible content, right? Bite-sized content. Videos are shorter. Blogs are shorter. Infographics, I was surprised that infographics wasn't higher than it is, but white papers being on the smaller side, that didn't surprise me at all. But it does speak to the need for content in different formats, again, reflective of that graphic I showed at the top of earned, owned, paid, and shared. So that's it. It's I tend to keep these things relatively simple. I don't overcomplicate marketing communications. It's the right message to the right channel to the right audience. Full stop.
What about at the right time?
Okay. At the right time. Fair. Fair. There you go. All right. So it's
2 minutes left, and we do have a couple of questions in here.
Yeah, I saw let me open the chat.
The chat. So yeah. So my question was, where did the data come from?
Yeah. So let me. I will. Hold on. I'll advance one slide just to get to that graphic. So Michael, I am part of an ad hoc agency, a virtual agency called Orchestrated Marketing, and we conducted this survey. Now I no longer have a calendar in front of me, but it's St. Patrick's Day. We conducted the survey. I think it was over November to January, right? We left it out there for a while, obviously knowing that the November answers wouldn't be as pertinent in January, but we also wanted to collect from the end of the year to the beginning of the year, and we put it out in a on a broad LinkedIn platform. So I can't tell you that we had X number of people. I think we had approximately 200 respondents, so not a bad number, not great for scientific purposes, but not a bad number. And as I say, the answers are from small to mid-sized companies. We put the limit at, I think it was at $200 million in revenue. So, big by my standards anyway, but smaller, mid-size as by market standards. Law firms, technology, consulting, manufacturing, engineering.
Ken had a question. How effective are the different content flavors overall and by industry?
Oh, Ken, thank you for the question. And, I appreciate the softball setup. I suspect the answer is very. And frankly, I would say not only, are they important overall and by industry, but they're also critically important within an industry on the client journey. So getting a client into the top of the funnel is more of a brand awareness campaign. And that's going to be the explainer video, that's going to be the ad banners, that's going to be more the brand awareness. Here's who we are, here's our name, and broadly speaking, here's what we do. As a client moves from the top of the funnel on down, then you need to send them a different kind of campaign. So we saw that you looked at this page on our website. Here's a piece of what we do, or here's a piece of thought leadership on our expertise in your industry. And so understanding who the client is and helping them down the funnel in that is more of a nurture campaign. And the content for a nurture campaign is going to be different than a lead gen campaign. And same with the difference in the buyers depending upon industry. So you're going to get in more of a technical field, an infographic is probably not going to do it. In a technical field, you're going to need the blog, the written article, the thought leadership, maybe the white paper. But in more of a blunt instrument, if you'll allow me the expression, a blunt instrument industry, the video is going to be great. The infographic is going to be a strong visual that's going to convey all the message in one shot. So,
all right. I think I'm gonna wind it up because we're past the 15 minutes point.
Okay.
But you guys can. There was another question out there.
Yeah, I'll take it offline. I appreciate that. I'll take it offline.
Absolutely. So I just dropped in the participants or everybody here in the order in which they showed up. So a 2-minute. Laurel asked, "What's the intro and how long?" So we'll do 2 minutes. So in the chat, you'll see the order. So we're going to start with Sarita, then Mark, then Bryce. So you'll see where you come in. I'll time you. So today's topic is, now that we are coming out, I hope, of the COVID world, if you want to talk about it, how will things change for you? That's sort of extra something to think about. So let's start with Sarita. You are up.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Sarita Jackson, and with the Global Research Institute of International Trade. Exactly 1 week ago, I had an interesting conversation with a cosmetics company based in Los Angeles that was looking to expand to other markets. And when I talked to one of the representatives from this particular company, the co-founder of the company, and he was telling me about his markets, he mentioned a particular market where he is doing business. And I asked him, I said, well, are you taking advantage of the US, Mexico, Canada agreement? The market is Mexico. And he says, I've heard about it. And when I inquired further, he mentioned that he is spending 25% of his expenses on duties, in taxes on anything that you're importing between Canada, Mexico, and the United States. And when we got to the dollar value, it was, let's just leave it at millions of dollars. So why do I tell this particular story? Well, with this company, if he had come to me earlier, and that's why we're in this conversation, someone recommended him, I pointed out, I said, do you realize that you do not have to pay those tariffs because we have a trade agreement? So what I do with companies as a research institute is I work with small, mid-sized companies, different industries, whether they're in the manufacturing space, agricultural producers, even service providers, by the way, is to provide the customized market research, helping them to identify the right market for their product or service, develop a strategy, find those opportunities where they can save money and connect them with resources. And the end result is that, at least using this case, that they are able to save money, take that money, invest back into their business, developing their product or expanding, enhancing their particular service so that they can actually increase their profits in the international market. I'm Sarita Jackson with the Global Research Institute of International Trade. Thank you.
Great story. All right. Let's see, I'm getting a little echo. Let's see, Mark, you are up.
Hi, Mark Thibault, Growth Strategy Advisors. What would I do if things change? Well, that's a great question. One, I would travel a lot more. That goes, although in all fairness, I just was in California for 6 days. And it was cold, and rainy. We went to the zoo on Monday and it was pouring rain. So much fun. But anyway, so what would I do? I would travel more. I think that would open up my market a little bit, because I think what would happen is the private equity groups would start wanting to open up again also. They've been sort of battening down the last 9 months. So hopefully that will improve, and hopefully instead of getting, I'll go back to having 2-month-long contracts instead of 15-hour contracts. So that would be nice. But other than that, what I do is I just help people find new markets. I help people find new positions. I help them find new partners, because basically ultimately I'm building go-to-market strategies. And the private equity groups, of course, they want to acquire, but the private groups, they just want to find new and interesting markets. Often in market A, I want to go to market B. And that's what I do.
Interesting. And did you see the New York Times article about investors getting into Amazon? I can't remember that, some sort of Amazon roll-ups with sort of products that are going viral.
Well, that's interesting. I mean, the one thing I will say, my old employer Lowe's, they are investing heavily in the community, and they're investing in all sorts of startups for products.
Yeah.
So I give kudos to them.
All right. Thank you. And it looks like Bryce Wade, then David Cutler, then Ken Simon. Bryce, you're up. You gotta come off mute, Bryce.
Oh, I thought it was off. Sorry. Thank you for the opportunity, Michael. So my name is Bryce Wade. I'm the VP of Sales for Mind of a Marketer. So we've basically developed into a burgeoning MarTech company. We kind of provide a lot of marketing technologies that are fairly unique in the industry to other marketing companies. And one of the things that we're focused on in 2021, and this kind of goes to your question, Michael, is when COVID goes the way of history, hopefully sooner rather than later, there's going to be a big push for everybody to be like, okay, everybody's back in business. Let's go make money. Let's spend like money from everyone. It's going to rain from the sky is kind of what everybody's waiting for. And a big piece of that is going to be search engine marketing, because there's a lot of smaller companies that are going to want to post in these places, but big companies too. There's going to be, I think there's just going to be a big push in general for a lot of marketing efforts, because everybody's going to realize, hey, business is back. Let's go make some money to make up for last year. And our products are really specific to that purpose. So 2 of our products specifically are really specific to that purpose. So we have one product called Ad Cannibal that basically saves companies money on the money that they spend for SEM. Very unique product in the industry. There's a huge opportunity in the industry to the tune of about $12 billion a year. And that's what my focus is going to be for 2021. But our other product called CTT, or cell phone targeting technology, basically works on the foot traffic of certain locations. So I know there's many people here with glasses, so you'll understand this quite easily. So if I was a laser eye surgeon, I can basically guarantee that laser eye surgeon, that your clients are in one of 2 places, be that an optometrist to check your vision, or an eyeglass retailer to actually go and buy those eyeglasses. So I can say to the laser eye surgeon, I can target people that walk into these 2 locations with ads via Facebook or Spotify or whatever, so you can hyper target your target market based on location. So yeah, Bryce Wade, Mind of a Marketer.
Very cool. Okay, thank you. Next is David Cutler. Maybe unmute, David. David, are you here? David looks like he fell off the deep end. Okay. Since David's not there, Ken Simon. Oh, you're on mute, Ken.
Okay. Hi there. I'm Ken Simon. I do B2B marketing with small and mid-sized companies. I'm going to do something a little different because I have a question and I'm trying to, I got a request. I think one of the things with the end of COVID, I think companies are starting to prepare more for the future. And I just heard that what the federal chairman is going to said this morning or this afternoon was that they're expecting like 6.5% GDP by the end of the year. So the market's probably going to be taking off. I had a request from a new client, a new prospective client who is more or less manages money. And I've never really worked in that industry per se. And I'm not exactly sure of all the rules and regulations around what they can and cannot do to promote their business. And so if anybody has information on that, they could do it, because I'm trying to figure out, he's trying to figure out how he could what he can do to get more people to come in and invest with him. He's a solo practitioner, but he's also holding a lot of money. He also invests a lot of money. I won't go into more detail. But anyway, so what I do is I work with companies and individuals to help them promote their products and services and help them get into new markets. And been doing it for the last 6 years. And the funny thing, Dan, I just wanted to say, my first experience in the insurance industry, I started with Continental Insurance on St. Patrick's Day. So when you said that, it was like, what can I tell you? Anyway, Ken Simon, I do, anybody could help, that would be great. Thanks a lot.
Ken, if you check, I just added recently the industry focus on the Trust and Referral Network. So if you look under industry focus menu, under financial services, there are folks there that have experience in that space.
Yeah, I just don't know all the rules and regulations. It's very highly regulated, so they can't advertise, and it's like, they can't even use blogs sometimes. So I don't even know what they can and can't do sometimes. Okay, thanks.
Absolutely. Okay, David, you are up.
Hello, everyone. David Edelman. My computer crashed in the middle of Dan's spiel, so I was on my phone, and now I'm back. I run a media buying agency called OCD Media. We work with small and mid-sized companies to help them really navigate through the complexities of all the different paid media channels, whether it's localized Google or Facebook ads to network television. We manage it all. So on I guess I'll just jump in on the question about, now that the end is near on COVID and distancing and everything, what's going to change? I think the remote working is going to be a permanent thing for me and my people. We're finding that it's much more beneficial to work that way than to have to spend hours and hours every week commuting into the city to sit around the office. We're talking to each other multiple times a day in quick video calls, and I think there's a lot of distractions that normally happen in the workplace that we're not experiencing any longer. So I'm really happy about that. So David Edelman, OCD Media.
And David, you and Bryce should talk about Ad Cannibal.
I definitely want to talk to you, Bryce.
Yeah. Okay. Who is up next? So you had 16 seconds. You are giving that to Faith. Faith, unmute. Faith, you're muted.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, my name is Faith Thomases. I am a verbal strategist for brands. I get involved with all the planning of words, of how you position a brand, what the messaging is. That gets involved with brand strategy development, name development, and copywriting. I'm a generalist and have experience in a broad range of industries and come up front in brand planning. I do a lot of my consulting with graphics designers that are going to be doing the logo design and the package design. One of my strengths is saying things as simply and concisely as possible to really grab someone. And when I spoke the last time I was here, I was told I had 23 seconds left, which kind of proves that that's what I can do. At that time, somebody asked me what kind of a hook I could give them. And of course, I drew a blank. So what I want to present for those of you that live in New York is the Icon parking lots. I came up with that name. So, and the reason it's a great solution, they wanted to brand, because it was owned by a company with the family name. They wanted to brand for two reasons. One was to possibly go public, and they thought that would up their balance sheet. The other was in case they went into new markets, they could take the brand, and if you went to New Haven, you know, you could park your car there and it would be treated the same way that it would be here. The other thing that was fabulous about that solution, and I did that in conjunction with a very large consulting agency, the 4 letters. They had at that time 150 units in the city, which had both vertical signage and horizontal signage. And the vertical signage was very skinny. They also had that circle with the black arrow in it, the red arrow. So they had an icon already out there, but by being only 4 letters, they did not have to buy new signage. And that was a terrific savings for them. So I get involved with that kind of different thinking. It's not as quantitative as what some of you have been talking about, but I bring up the other end. And so if you have any opportunities, keep me in mind, please.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Faith. And
Time left?
nope, you're over, but that's fine. I'm not going to cut you off unless you're running out of time. Laurel, then Gilbert, and then Jason. So Laurel, you're up.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laurel Carpenter. I'm a writer. My business is Pearl Consulting NYC. I know several of you from other groups. It's great to see some familiar faces. Dan, I really enjoyed your presentation, because in your presentation, you said that 70% of companies are still blogging, and we write blogs and website copy for service-based businesses. We also do LinkedIn and resume for individuals. And one thing that I can see changing in the next few months is, well, my partner's being vaccinated. I have a partner in my business who used to write for the New York Times and other publications. And we are excited that he's getting vaccinated. And I do see us starting to slowly have more in-person meetings. I haven't received my vaccine yet, but I'm hoping to get that at some point when I'm eligible. And I think that we probably will be looking to work more with people doing online learning, because I don't think that that's going to go away either. Just like David said, I think we'll still be doing remote work, and that even though there may not be as much of it, I do think it's still going to be something that's happening. So I think we're going to look for some opportunities in that industry, and hopefully those will be available. Our tagline is that we find the gem in your story, and we do really well working with service-based businesses, B2B, but also I would say service-based is usually our primary market, who've tried working with template-based writers who want someone that's going to be creative and original and help them to be interesting online, because some of the businesses we've worked with that have been a good fit have felt like, I'm an accounting firm, what do I have to say? And we really enjoy bringing out those stories from their testimonials, from success stories. And sometimes people just don't really know how interesting they are. They're so busy running their business that they just haven't really thought about some of the stories they can tell to the world. So we enjoy helping people bring that out. And I'm really looking forward to getting to know some of you better that I haven't met yet. You're always welcome to connect with us. I love meeting people and doing one-to-ones, still doing them virtually, eventually in person. I'll leave my contact info in the chat. And thank you, Michael, for reaching out to me to encourage me to reconnect with the group.
Absolutely. And I first met Laurel when I was teaching a business workshop. That's when we first met, right? Whoops.
Yes, it is when we first met. I wasn't sure if I went over, so I was trying
That's all right.
Stay in my window.
You were perfect. Okay, Gilbert, you are up.
Hey guys, Gilbert Abraham, thank you again for keep inviting me, Michael. So I own a company called AGM. We specialize on LinkedIn training, specifically LinkedIn Sales Navigator training and LinkedIn ads. So we work with a lot of small and mid-sized companies, from financial service firms to manufacturing to construction. We've been fortunate to work with over 600 clients in the past 7 years since we've been in business. And what I envision to change is personal life. My wife and I will do more traveling. Business wise, I don't think I'm going back to an office like David mentioned. So yeah, no more office for me. That's it.
All right, great. Thank you. And let's see, Jason Cement.
Hi there. So Jason Cement, my company is called Get Visible. We're an agency running out of Phoenix. We do all digital, so we build websites and then promote them with search engine rankings, pay-per-click ads, social media, content development. It goes on. In terms of the remote working and COVID and all of that, for us, it had a profound change because my partner never thought that productivity would be good with people working remotely. And we found sort of a hybrid, 2 days in the office, 3 days at home, and productivity went up. So that's my experience. And the second thing is, I'm in a group of CEOs of like big tech companies. It's a small group, like 15 people in our individual group. And one of them runs one of the largest SaaS companies in the world. And he, every month for the last 6 months, he's like, all the people he talks to who run big companies, tech companies, are giving up their offices. So remote working is not going to be a fad, not for the next 3-4 years, not just because of COVID anymore. It's just a new reality. And so we're trying to figure out how to adapt to that, not just internally, but how that manifests for the things that we're offering, because the websites will be more valuable even, I think. I'm not sure how, but that's my belief. So that's it.
Sounds like a short on commercial real estate then.
Exactly.
Not good.
Yeah.
You know what? A lot of it I hear already is going to be repositioned for residential, number one. But the big problem though with that is people don't want to live in the city. They don't feel the need to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They want grass.
Okay. And I hear grass is being legalized in many places too.
Where you are. You're going to need the grass to deal with what's happening.
Exactly. Yeah. It's legal, but not available yet in New Jersey. All right. So I will go. Did I miss anybody, first of all? All right. Did not miss anybody. So putting 2 minutes on, Michael Bendit. My company is Software Development Resources, and I'm an independent rep. I work with about 10 different companies, which covers the gamut, pretty much covers the gamut for most small and medium-sized businesses, for both marketing and startups. And those are our 2 areas of focus. We do basic stuff, the blocking and tackling of websites, mobile applications, e-commerce applications, and then sort of the more esoteric stuff, 3D or 3D modeling and big data, blockchain, that all of those esoteric things tend to be maybe 5% of my business. It's mostly the bread and butter that people need day in and day out. And why do people come to me? Because they're not really sure where to go. The technical landscape is very complicated. They don't know which platforms they should be using. And so my job is to help them work through those issues. And then once we decide, okay, here's the right platform, then I help them with the right team. How I think things will change, that's a good question. I really hope to be able to meet people in person again, get back into my the networking group, another networking group that I founded a while back, and meet in person at my brother's place, which is a nice conference room, and give everybody a hug. It's been too long. But you're right. I think we'll be doing a lot of virtual work. I don't know if this networking group could have actually launched if it weren't for COVID, because everything is virtual and people are very comfortable with that now. So I think I will be doing a lot of virtual meetings in addition to in-person meetings. So that's my time. I do want to share my screen and show you a couple things that I've added to the Trusted Referral Network. Let me share. Okay. So here's the website. One thing you'll notice, I'm going to go to the home screen. One thing you'll notice that's new is we now have a menu that shows industry focus. So if you haven't taken over your listing, until you do, you won't be able to, you have to put in your own industry focuses or foci. And you could take up to 3. If you look at my listing, for example, which shows up on top because I'm quote unquote featured as an example, and go into the listing, you'll see that I have B2B services, retail and e-commerce, and technology and telecom. And you could find those. So if I went to B2B services, you'll see that I'm listed there along with a couple of other folks. So Ken, you can go directly to, oops, wrong menu, financial services. Those are folks in the network that focus on financial services. Now, you may not be wanting to talk to somebody who's got, who also specializes in SEO and reputation management or audience acquisition, but maybe marketing strategy. Yeah, it might be, the right person. And if he's in the network, so, just click on his link, and then you can either message him through here or go to email him. This is James Heaton. You can contact him through LinkedIn, whatever. That's one of the benefits of having this website is to be able to find people based on their company name, their company focus, their industry focus. And soon we'll be doing, I'll have a search for people's names. So you remember, oh, that guy Mark, can't remember his last name, but if you look up Mark, you'll be able to find Mark Thibault and any of the other Marks that are in the group. The other thing that some of you have already signed on to is Meeting Machine. So if you've ever done Lunch Club, which is a service that connects you for one-on-one meetings, this is sort of a private lunch club that was actually developed by one of our members, Kevin McCarthy. And we are using it for Trusted Referral Network, so you can do a weekly one-on-one with somebody they'll connect you with. I believe I included the link in for the Meeting Machine in the last newsletter. You just go on and sign up and join the Trusted Referral Network. Actually, you'll get to the Trusted Referral Network. You sign in with your LinkedIn. Actually, I can go to the group manager. I think I have it here. Yeah, so I'll put it in the chat. It's meetingmachine.group TRN. If you go to that, you can sign up, and it will connect you with one person in the group each week for a 15-minute call. And it looks at your calendar, either Google or Microsoft 365 or Office 365, and it will find an available time. So I'm going to put this in the chat. Okay. And everybody should put their name or their LinkedIn connection and LinkedIn URL in the chat. So that's another way for you to for people to meet. So right now we have 10 members. Jason, you signed up. Dan Prince signed up.
But I had that error. Remember I sent you an email about it when you sent it out?
You're in though.
Oh, so I got stuck going through, but okay.
Oh, did you have an error with syncing to your calendar?
I don't remember which point. I think I sent you a screenshot telling you where I got stuck. And you
Yeah, yeah. If you have a problem, Kevin McCarthy from Channel Marketing, and he's in the network, so he's on. You'll find him under Channel Marketing.
Okay.
So if you do a search under channel marketing, you'll see his email. It can help you out. Channel. And I think he's actually, here he is, Channel Media Group. Kevin, there's the man. And his email is Kevin at Channel Media Group. Copy email address. I'm going to put that in the link as well in the chat. So if you do have any, oops, that was directly to Laurel, to everyone. All right, by the way, yes, thank you. I sent something directly to Laurel that I wasn't supposed to be sending directly to Laurel. Oh, that was Meeting Machine. Okay, sorry. So now to everyone, here's the Meeting Machine link. All right. Any questions? Also, always looking for new members. I've been thinking about this. How do we expand? For those of you who partner with folks that you've used as vendors or you refer business to, if they're in the marketing services world, see if they would be interested in joining us. I mean, the idea is it's a recommended, trusted referral network. So the people that you already trust is exactly who we're looking for. And I'll open it up from there. Any comments, questions?